I drove 1,300 miles to Colorado, and somewhere along the way, between a fire that completely destroyed a railroad bridge, leaving the tracks drooping in the air with nothing underneath them, and a trailer full of stranded cattle on the side of the road, I actually learned something that completely changed how I think about my shop. And at first, it didn't make any sense because none of this has to do with woodworking or organization, but it actually has everything to do with why your shop either works for you or fights you every time that you walk into it. Have you ever walked into your shop and felt like you were behind before you even got started? Like right now, I've got people coming over this Friday night for a game night, and I know that I need to get this shop cleaned up and ready. And instead of just getting to work, I'm standing here thinking, where do I even start? And to be fair, part of the reason that it's messy right now is because I'm actively changing the system. Shelves are moving, storage is evolving, I'm rethinking how the whole shop actually functions. Just like the garden shed, just like the carport. Sometimes a space gets messier before it gets better. But there's a difference between temporary chaos caused from construction and a system that slowly stops supporting the work. Because I've got the tools, I've got the space, but nothing's working the way that it should. It's not your tools. It is not your shop size. It is the system. Because systems beat square footage every single time. Recently, again, I drove 1,300 miles from California to Colorado, and somewhere between stranded cattle, volunteer firefighters, and a destroyed railroad bridge, I was reminded of one of the biggest lessons about workshop organization I have learned in a long time. Now, there was this fire that didn't just start near the railroad bridge, but it completely destroyed it. The bridge was gone. The railroad tracks were left drooping in the air, unsupported, where no train could actually pass. Before long, the railroad was surrounded by fire crews that were out fighting to save it. And here's the thing, this wasn't a big city department. These were volunteer firefighters, neighbors, people stepping in because that's what needed to happen. Everyone pulled together to protect the town. But in the middle of all of that, something happened that stood out. Someone went to the local store trying to get food for the firefighters and the crew that was working on the scene. There was one employee at a particular store that I won't name that refused to turn the ovens back on to make pizzas for the crews. Now, in a moment like that, you realize something. Systems only work when every part supports the mission. Because during pressure, weak systems reveal themselves. And your shop works the same way. When your shop or you are under pressure trying to get something done, that's when a bad setup shows up immediately. That is when people either support the system or become the reason it breaks. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, that employee was let go. Because in a small town, people understand something important. You don't just protect your own job, you protect the whole machine. And your shop is no different. When one part stops doing its job, the whole system slows down. And that hit me hard because that is exactly where most workshops quietly fall apart. Not because you need more tools, not because you need more cabinets, but because too many things inside the shop are doing jobs that they were never meant to do. The workbench becomes a storage. Your outfeed table becomes a dumping ground. Your miter station becomes a place to stack random boxes. And over time, the system starts to fight you instead of helping you. And that is when frustration shows up. That is when projects take longer. That is when you walk into your shop, your own shop, and somehow feel behind before you even get started. Because clutter isn't just a storage problem. It is a systems problem. That is another thing about small towns like Flagler. People notice what doesn't belong. A strange truck parked somewhere it shouldn't. Someone driving roads nobody normally drives. Something feels off and people notice. Not necessarily because they're suspicious, but because good systems recognize disruption fast. And honestly, your workshop works the exact same way. When a drill ends up on your miter station, when clamps start living on your workbench, when the outfeed table becomes permanent storage, you feel it. Something feels off because every piece has a job. And when something ends up where it doesn't belong, the whole system starts to slow down. That's what clutter really is. It's not too much stuff, it's misplaced support. It's exactly why I built my Milwaukee Packout miter station the way that I did. Not because I needed another tool setup, but because I needed a better system. The dolly supports the mobility. The drawers support access. The Packout towers support the benchtop. The benchtop supports the saw. The storage supports the workflow. The linkage supports stability. Every part has a job. Every piece supports the next piece. That's what makes the whole thing work. And honestly, I saw the exact same thing in Colorado. My brother actually works in a fertilizer place. And before most people were even up on a Saturday morning when his family is here visiting him, he was already up helping a farmer getting loaded. Not because he had to, but because he was just doing his part. Because timing matters. And if there's no moisture, there's no rain, guess what? The fertilizer would just sit there. So there was a chance of rain. So he was helping get this farmer going because it doesn't just activate on its own. It doesn't do its job. If rain's coming, the small windows matter. You move fast because the goal wasn't just selling fertilizer. It was making sure the system worked when it mattered. And even sitting there in the storage building was that crop duster plane. Now, most people would just see a standard airplane, but in that town, the plane had a job. When the fields, let's just say, were too wet or the ground equipment would just tear up the soil too much, when timing matters and you can't afford to wait, guess what? That plane became the right tool for that system. And your shop works the same way. The right tool in the right place at the right time. It just keeps everything moving. Now, what if I try to take that plane home and use it for something that wasn't really built for, right? It would be useless. Just like trying to rip a full sheet of plywood on a miter saw. Wrong tool, wrong job, same problem. But every tool has a purpose, and every good system depends on putting the right tool in the right place. That's true on a farm, and it's true in your workshop. Now, later, just off the interstate, we came across this semi that was hauling cattle, and it was broke down on the side of the road. So, of course, in standard honey badger fashion, that's my brother, we pulled off, and there was already this guy that had pulled up in a truck. Now, at first, I'm going to be honest, I assumed that this was a repair guy, maybe roadside assistance, maybe someone or whatever was sent to fix the truck. But he wasn't. He was just a local farmer, someone who saw a problem and stopped to help, just like my brother would. And Scott did the exact same thing. Nobody stood there asking, whose responsibility was this? Because those cattle couldn't wait. They were stuck, sitting there in the trailer, relying on someone else to solve a problem that they couldn't solve themselves. And if no one stopped, it wouldn't just be inconvenient. It would become a real problem, not only for the driver, but for the day, but for the animals. So people stepped in because good systems work that way. They don't wait for perfect responsibility. They respond when support is needed. And in your shop, that support should already be built in. Whether it's a town or a workshop, everything supports the next thing. And the funny thing is, Flagler isn't a huge city. It's small, which means on paper, it should feel limited, right? Less people, less equipment, less infrastructure. But honestly, in a lot of ways, it worked better than some bigger places because systems matter more than size. And your workshop works the exact same way. A small shop with a good system can outperform a giant shop with a bad one every single time. Because people think organization is about putting things away. It's not. It is about building a system where things naturally belong. Because whether it's a small town in eastern Colorado or your own workshop, strength doesn't come from size. It comes from support. And systems beat square footage every single time. Want to see what 200 tons worth of fertilizer looks like? We are surrounded by systems. Just like in that 200 tons of fertilizer that you just saw, you should take a look at the door mechanism. It is just like a Bic pen a diagonal little slant. I'll show you an image of it here real quick. But the reality is that we are surrounded by systems every single day, whether you intentionally create them or not. I will tell you this, that your systems are either working for you or they are quietly working against you. Now, if you click this video up here, eventually it's going to be, once I film it, my top 5 favorite systems in my workshop. But until then, shoot dang guys. Thanks for hanging out with the General. Have an amazing day.